Just when you thought we were done with the Servitor videos, ta-da! I'll bring you another one. I actually remembered I wanted to do this one, but I forgot about it. What do you do when your Servitor isn't pulling its weight and isn't actually doing what it's supposed to do? There's a few options here, so let's have a look at those. So quite often we create servitors and send them off on their way, and we wait a week, wait 2 weeks, and we don't get the results that we were actually anticipating. Now there could be a few reasons for this. Maybe it doesn't have enough energy, maybe it was programmed slightly wrong, and there's a bit of a misunderstanding possibly. But the objective of the Servitor is to go off and do its task and what you actually programmed it to do and what you intended it to do. But sometimes we find that doesn't happen. Now, there's three main options here. The first one is kill it. Just get rid of it and start again. So to do that, we can go back to the fail-safe. But because it's not off in a distant place somewhere that we don't know where it is, you can bring it home. You can make it a bit more ceremonial. So you might want to just reabsorb it back into yourself, or dissolve its energy back into the element, or, as I say, however you created it. Just disperse, dissolve the energy back from into its source. Then, after you've obviously gotten rid of that one, you can create a new one. Just rethink the model, rethink the tasks that it's meant to do, rethink about how you actually are or the type of energy you're giving it. Maybe a different method would actually work better. So, in the first case, it's a destroy and then recreate. In the second instance, you can simply just find a different energy source maybe. Maybe the one you're using isn't potent enough to actually get the job done. So you can change the energy source, or you can up your energy source. If you're giving it personal power, maybe you want to do some work where you're actually raising more energy within yourself in order to feed it. You can use Qigong, you can use a cone of power method from witchcraft. You can build up more energy and generate more energy, and therefore give it more energy, and then see if that one works. Obviously, then you're going to have to wait a week or maybe 2 just to see if you get the results that you want after doing that. And you may want to then fall back to one of the other methods if it doesn't work. So giving it more energy doesn't always get the results that you want, though. As I say, it may be that you programmed it wrong. You may have had an intention in mind, and the words that you used don't quite relay that intention. In many regards, this wouldn't actually happen, because the intent you have gets pushed with the will and desire that you have. So the words you use aren't just, what the Servitor is going to understand as its task. Your own desire gets pushed into it. So quite often that's not the case. It's not the reason why the Servitor is not doing what it's supposed to do. But just rethink it. Go back to the drawing board. Look at how you actually structured it, and how you actually structured the intent and what you told the Servitor to do, and maybe just change it. Call it back, bring it back to its home base, and then just talk to it and reprogram it. And obviously, as time goes by, you can also alter the actual intent, but I'll get to that just now. Let me just do the third method, and then we'll get to how to actually grow the Servitor further. So the third method, which is probably my preferred method, is to actually create a supporting servitor. So what you do here, you have your original servitor, which is doing its task but not as well as it should do. So what you do, you create another servitor to come in and help with the tasks. It just aids it really, so it's kind of a bit of a twin. So they go and they do the task together, but if it's a complicated task, then maybe the other one can split off and do some subsequent work while this one's doing whatever it needs to do, and then bring that work back, bring the energy back to the original one, and give the original servitor support in what it needs to do. That's definitely my preferred method, because it does allow you to keep your original servitor around without having to try and feed it more energy and try and figure out what was wrong. You can take the second one, and with the intent of the second one, what you can do is make it sort of an open channel to the original one and communicate new messages to it, which again brings me to how to actually grow your servitor in its intention. So let's take a personal example. I have the Sigil Magic course that I'm doing live on my site, and therefore I would create a servitor to bring people to my site, make them aware of the Sigil course, and get them to actually book and sign up for that. But subsequent to that, I am also writing a book that will go hand in hand with the course, and I will also be creating an on-demand video course, because the video course you can buy and download whenever you want to, whereas the live online course you have to be able to slot into a specific time period, a time slot that I've created, and I've tried to make work for a lot of people in different time zones, but it might not all work for you. So you can then go and buy the on-demand video course. So once the book's been written, even during the process of the book, going back, just stepping back a little bit. So I have this servitor which brings people to the website and makes them aware of the Sigil course and gets them to sign up. Then what I can do, I start writing the book. So what I can do is come back to the servitor and add in, give me inspiration, make my words flow easy so that the book actually gets written in record time, but it gets written well. The information and how it's written actually comes across to the reader well, things like that. So the process of actually writing the book. Then when the book's finished, what I can do is I can add again to the same servitor to bring sales. And then when I've created the video course, then the same thing, while I'm creating it, I can add into the original servitor to help me with inspiration and things like that to create the video course. And then when it's created, I launch it and I can add again to the original servitor to bring in sales for that video course. But that's one servitor for the entire Sigil Magic course, which will eventually be a live online course, a book, and an on-demand video course. Okay, but what I could do is create 3 servitors that are all supporting each other and all working together. So one for the live online course, one for the book, and one for the on-demand video course. And instead of just having one that's trying to handle all of those things, I can have 3. So they would each just focus on their areas, but they would all work together because it's all part of the Sigil course. So that's basically how that would work. So you're not putting too much demand and too much pressure on one servitor to do too much, which may require it to actually need more and more and more energy. Whereas you can split that between 3, maybe 4, 5 different servitors, all working on the same task or the same larger goal. So it comes very much into this, or similar to sigil shoaling, where you're creating multiple sigils that have broken down a bigger goal. So you break down a bigger goal, and you create sigils for each part of that goal, and they all work together to actually go and attain the larger goal. And if you want to get creative, you could also bring RoboFish into this. So, for instance, I have 3 servitors that are each focusing on one particular area of a larger goal or larger task. But you can have one servitor which is sort of overseeing everything else. And that servitor can report back to you if you need reporting back to. That one servitor can report back to you about what everybody else is doing. So a bit like a manager or a team leader or something like that. So, you know, this is magic. It's an art. So you have to get creative with what you're doing. And you can get creative as you want to. You don't need to stick to this person said I must do it this way and X, Y, Z and A, B, C. You know, colour outside the lines. It's what we're here for, isn't it? Just to make things a bit more interesting. And okay, so now that's it for the Servitor videos. So I'll do something a bit different on Friday, and I'll see you then. Cheers.